Once you start seeing your daughter through a nervous system lens, you realise how different your approach is. And not everybody understands. You know, you have those well-meaning people saying, oh, she just needs to go in to school. Make her try. It will build that resilience. You're being too soft. But here's what they don't see. She's holding it together everywhere else with everyone else and falling apart with you. And that is natural. Today, we're talking about standing firm when you're the only one who sees the truth of what is going on for your daughter. So welcome back to The Teen Whisperer, the podcast for mums supporting girls who are judged, questioned or misunderstood. I'm Rach Friedley, and here's the reframe that matters the most today. You are not being soft in the slightest. You are her only safe space. And that is the hardest job there is. And yes, I'm a mum too. So 100% I get where you're coming from. I see you, I hear you, I validate everything you're dealing with. The isolation when no one else sees what you see. The exhaustion of fighting for her 24/7 when nobody believes you. The terror that you're losing her behind a closed door. Today, I'm here to tell you, I see you. I know how frigging tough this is. And you are not alone. So let's dive in. So here's what I'm seeing with mums in my WTF community right now. They are exhausted. Doggone tired. Exhausted, not just from supporting their daughters, but from fighting for them 24/7, day in, day out, against schools who say, oh, she's fine in lessons, against family who say, oh, she seems okay to me, there's nothing wrong, and against everyone who doesn't see what happens at home when it's just you and her. Because here's what's really happening. Your daughter is masking all day, every day at school. She's holding it together. She's smiling when she feels like soothing. She's answering questions when she feels like hiding. She's pretending everything's fine because that's what you do when you're a girl, don't you? And then she gets home. She explodes. She screams in your face. She swears at you. She collapses. She alienates herself from you, family and friends, or she disappears into her room for hours scrolling on her tech. And of course, you are the only one who sees it. You're the only one who knows she is not fine, in inverted commas. She's using every ounce of energy to get through the day. And when she gets home, she has absolutely nothing left. So she falls apart, understandably, with you, because you are the only safe place she has. And this is why I talk about do not take her behaviour personally, because she's kicking off at the situation she finds herself in. You just happen to be there because you are the only safe place she has. She feels she can let rip with you because you're not going to confront her, retaliate her. So let me tell you about a mum in my WTF community. If you've never heard about WTF before, it's what's the feeling. But you know, those 3 letters mean a hell of a lot more when you're working with girls. So this mum, her daughter is in shutdown. She's in complete freeze. She will not leave her room. She's barely eating. Her curtains are shut throughout the day and are opened in the evening, which is just tipping that circadian rhythm so the brain hasn't got a clue what's going on. She cannot face school most days. And the school keeps saying, oh, she just needs to try. If she comes in for one lesson, she'll feel so much better. We need her to attend. It's like that carrot at the end of that stick. If I just hang it in front of her, she'll want to get it, and she'll want to get it again and again and again. All of those things are nothing to do with your daughter. Just, for example, there's nothing to do with your daughter. They're all about the attendance scores. They are all about the school. Not once in any of those comments does it say anything like, we want to support your daughter. They're not looking at what's underneath the behaviour to how to support her. They're just looking at what she's doing and that she needs to get into school because it raises their scores. So here's what the school does not say. When this mum tries, when she gently says, what if we just drive to the car park and we sit there for a bit? Her daughter instantly freezes. She cannot move. She cannot speak because her body is screaming, I can't. And her brain, the logical, the thinking part of the brain, that prefrontal cortex has gone offline. So she cannot speak. That behaviour is her nervous system screaming, I don't feel safe. She's not scared of school per se. She's scared of the unknown, the conflict, the what ifs, the constant noise. She's scared of failing, scared of not being able to hold it together, scared that if she goes in and cannot cope and breaks down, everyone else will see. And of course, on the back end of that, if everyone else will see, she'll then get the comments, you're being a baby. Oh, where's your nappy? Do you need to change it? Oh, do you need your mummy? And then all the bullying will start. And that then internalises into your daughter. I'm a failure. What's wrong with me? There's something up. I'm broken. I'm a failure. So strangely enough, her body says, stay home, stay safe. And this mum, she's stuck between a daughter who physically cannot and a system that says she must. And on top of that, she's fighting. Mum is fighting the school, fighting her own family who do not understand what's going on, and fighting everyone else who says, you just need to toughen up a bit. But she doesn't. She is the only one who sees her daughter for what she is dealing with. She really sees her, not the girl who shows up at school and pretends that everything's hunky-dory, but the girl who comes home and cannot hold it together anymore. So speaking with a friend the other day, which is the amazing Laura from Learn Together, who is a SEND advocate, she is telling me about how the working memory has a capacity limit of which is 5 to 9 items. Anxiety and SEND can reduce that capacity even further. Processing that day is huge on the brain and it's full of everything. So if they've had those 5 to 9 triggers at school, when they come home, their brain hasn't got a choice. It goes into overwhelm. It goes straight into that nervous system dysregulation. And this is why your daughter either screams blue murder in your face, alienates you and everyone else around them, or hides in their room on their tech because they can't cope. They've reached capacity. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It just means they've had enough. So here's what's happening that nobody else understands. Your daughter is using all of her energy to survive the day, to mask, to look okay. So when she gets home, as I just said, there's nothing left. So she explodes, she shuts down, or she disappears. And everyone else says, oh, she's fine at school. It must be something you're doing. But that's not true because she's not fine. You know that. She's just good at pretending. And you're the only one who sees the cost. So let me name what this feels like for you, because I've been there, remember? I've been where you are right now. Lonely, completely and utterly lonely, because nobody else believes you. The school just says, oh, she's engaging in lessons. Look, this is what she can do. The family says, oh, she seemed fine at Christmas. And friends say, maybe you're overthinking it. Maybe you need to start some tough love. And you're left thinking, am I imagining this? Am I making it worse? Is it me? And why am I the only one who sees it? But let me tell you, you are not imagining it. You are seeing the truth. You're seeing what happens when that mask finally comes off. And that's real. There is nothing wrong with your daughter. It just means there is something underneath all of that. And what is that underneath? It's fear. It's terror. Not that she's struggling, but that you're losing her. She's in her room. You're outside the door. The connection you used to have, it's gone. And your brain knows this is the worst thing. Losing your daughter to a closed door, losing the girl she used to be, not knowing if she'll ever come back. And on top of that, you're questioning everything. Am I doing this right? What if I'm making it worse? What if she never comes back? And then someone, those well-meaning people yet again, say, oh, you just need to be firmer. And it lands like you are failing her. But here's what I need you to hear. You are so not failing her. You're the only one fighting for her. In a world that expects her to hold it together, because that's what girls do, apparently, you're the only one saying she can't, not right now. And that is okay. In a world that sees her mask and thinks she's fine, you're the only one who sees the truth. You are definitely not being soft. You're being her safe place, her harbour, her anchor, her safe space. Whatever it is you choose, you are being that place for her. The place where she doesn't have to pretend. The place where she can fall apart without fear or retribution. And that is not easy, mums, because it means you get all of it. The anger, the silence, the shutdown, the constant going from one extreme to the other extreme and just thinking, what the actual frig is going on? But it also means you're the one she trusts, even when it doesn't feel like it. So here's what I tell mums. You do not need a perfect script. You just need one sentence that protects you and her in that moment. So when somebody says to you, oh, she just needs to try a little harder, you can say, I hear you, but I see it differently. That's it. No more explanation, nothing else. When someone else says, normally a teacher, she's fine at school, it must be you. You can say, she's holding it together at school. She's falling apart at home. That's not the same as fine. You don't need to convince them. You just need to hold steady. But here's the script that matters way more than anything else you say out loud to everyone else. The one you say to yourself when you're doubting yourself, when you're second guessing, when you're firefighting, when you're totally and utterly exhausted, and when you feel like you're completely alone. I know my daughter. I see what no one else sees. I'm not imagining this, and I'm the only one fighting for her right now. That's not failure. That is love through and through. So this week, I want you to practice one teeny tiny thing, trusting what you see, even when nobody else does. So when somebody questions you, just say that one simple sentence and take a step back. It's not your job to convince them. It's your job to stand still with your belief. And when you doubt yourself, come back to, I know my daughter and I'm her only safe space. And that is a game changer. So please just remember, you are not failing her. You are not a failure. You are holding her in a world that expects her to keep it together 24/7, because apparently that's what we do as girls. You are the one place she doesn't have to. That's not you being soft. That's not you being wishy-washy. That is the hardest, bravest thing you will ever do. And you're doing it. Even on those days when you just feel like, giving up. even on those days when it feels like you're doing it alone. Just want to say you are not alone. I see you, I hear you, and I validate everything you're dealing with. And I know how hard this is. Remember, I've been there, and some days I'm still there with you. So next week, we're starting something new. Regulation before behaviour, the framework that changes how you respond to everything. And if this episode helped you feel less alone, I honour you. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Please share it with a friend who's flailing and whatever the word is when you're swimming around and you can't float, whatever. Share it with her. We need to be talking openly and honestly about what's going on. And if you're thinking, I need people who actually get this. I'm exhausted from fighting this alone. That's exactly why I created WTF. It's a space for mums supporting girls in shutdown, freeze or overwhelm. A place where behaviour is understood through the nervous system, not judged. Where we come together, we support one another, we have speakers, we talk about screen time, we have group coaching, we have that space. There's no fear, there's no judgment, there's no retribution. Just mums who know what it's like to be the only one who sees the truth. And if you're doing this alone, check it out. Check out the 3 W's, theteenwhisperer.co.uk/what's-the-feeling-mums. The details are in the show notes if you didn't get that. And take care, and remember, you are doing way better than you think. So see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.